Hello, and welcome to Hey Mom, Play This. I'm Kimmy Amber, and I play games so that through my gameplay you can decide if you want to play the game as well. Today it's Supermarket Together, and as Together infers, you can play with other people. So I'm going to start by showing you that first thing you would do would be to join a store. These stores are open to anybody to jump in. It's called a public game. And we are going to go into, I think it was Sidvilus's game. Yes, this works. Sometimes it's difficult to find a game that somebody has played progressively, but then again, after you've played, sometimes it's nice to jump into it. Somebody who's got a new store and help them to learn how to play as well. So you're creating your own store. Oh, they have something on sale. That's a new feature since I started playing the game. We've got sodas. We got some staple products over here. Oh, we have some freezer food. So here's our sim, our employee. This is a simulated person. This person is the one involved in our hi, just popping in. To see what you have, what you've done. All right. The store is legit, he says. Thanks for letting us pop in. So, bye now. In the chat, you actually hit T in order to talk. All right, so let's go back to the main menu and we'll start a new game. All right, to start a new game, we're going to start a new store and we're going to give it a name. This is what you would see where you saw L acetophilus in that public. This is the name that you will see in that menu or that your friends will see. So we're going to say, Hey Mom 2. And the reason is this is the second time I'm trying to record this and I lost the video. It's just terrible. And here's where you set whether or not you want it public. So private, only you can get in. Friends, only friends can get in, those who you have given a special code. And then public, that's where I just jumped into his game or her game. I'm assuming it's a him because he chose an avatar that was male. And then you can also change your difficulty. I am going to go to only friends just real quick so I can show you some things about having your game only friends and or public. So we're going to create this game. All right, so here's our completely empty store. That's the goal of this game, is to create your own grocery store. It's a simulation game in case you're new to gaming and don't know a whole lot about the genres. If we go to escape to get to our menu, you'll see up here in the left, Kim Amber, Hey Mom. This is who's in your store at the moment. So when somebody else joins, another name will come in here. Unless it's somebody that you know in real life and trust with your game, you want to remove all the permissions when joining. That means basically they can run around. They can look at your store, but they can't actually interact and do stuff to your store. If you have all permissions available for everybody who pops in, they can go and they can purchase items, they can there's an option in the game to take a loan so that you can buy something if you're starting to run low on product and you need to fill your stores, or you want to expand a little bit from this product to that product line. And there's a $10,000 limit on that. So if they have permission to do that, they can take a $10,000 loan that they say you're going to pay back in 3 days, and then go and buy $10,000 worth of product. You're stuck with that and you're going to have to start your game over. So make sure if you have a friends game, or definitely for a public game, that you have exchanged this changed this permissions. Now, if it's friends and you need a code, you get that right here. Just copy the code into Messenger or Discord or some way that you talk to the people you know. If not in real life, at least you've gamed with them regularly and you can trust them with your game, because nothing sucks more than to get into your game and have to start all over again because somebody came in and ruined it for you. Now we're actually going to leave this. I don't have anybody I'm going to give my code to, so I can leave this as friends only, and then play the game as though it was a solo game, because if nobody has my code, they can't jump in. Now, if you are public and you decide you're done with this person in your game, or you want to change it back to friends only or a private game, you can actually close the lobby so that big list, you won't show up on that. All right, so we're going to go back to the game. This is our supermarket. A little bit of space, and up there in the top right, it's going to give us some kind of tutorial for the first two things. So while the store is closed, time passes more slowly. The store is open from 8 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. The clock is up there on the upper left. It also tells you the day, and that's kind of important. I'll explain that in a little bit. The first step is to place some furniture. So we're going to go over here and hit the tab button. Now on the tab button, we've got building, and this is all the different kinds of shelves. That's a checkout, shelving, and for some reason it pops in with it's back to you. I don't understand that. Different kinds of shelving, right? Ooh, corner shelves. Those are new for me. I'm not sure what that is because it's the back side of it. We get self-checkout. There's lots of different things on this. But if you look at the builder menu on the right, there's other little tabs. You get to those with X and Z. As you can see at the bottom left, those are the keys that you will use. So E, you're going to build, move, or delete. Right and left rotation is on the mouse. But and within the menu itself, you can use your mouse wheel to go up and down the menu. But X, we've got decorations, plants, devices. That's pretty advanced in the game. Lights, those are kind of important. We've got some decorations that are holiday specific. We have a staff room where they can go and take breaks. Some more seasonal. And then here's something that's new since I stopped playing. I haven't played with these yet, and we aren't going to get to them because they're a little expensive and we'd rather buy product that we can sell. But this is wallpapers, new flooring, special structural things like those pillars that are down there on the bottom. There's some I-beams, I'm guessing, go up on the ceiling. Anyway, so that's our different options for building. But right now we're going to get a product shelf. I know, because like I said, I didn't say it. I had just finished this video, and for some reason while I was editing, it deleted. So I'm going to try to do this in one run. So I've got a big shelf. I know because I just finished it that mouse to turn, that I need two. I want to use the mouse to place things and it turns them instead. So E is actually placement. But I know that to start with, I want 2 big shelves and a little shelf. And then it says buy 2 products, buy 2 product shelves, sorry, a checkout and a storage shelf. Those are not even. I have about 100 hours into my main game on this, and it's because I spent a lot of time. You add shelves, you break out walls so that you have a bigger store, that kind of thing. And I spent a lot of time making sure this is perfect. We're not going to do that. Actually, I'll show you real quick. If you wanted to move this, you go tab to get into the menu, and at the top is placement. So then you see if I mouse over, I get a halo, E to pick it up, and then you move it in and you try to get it perfect with everything else. And then, whoops, that was escape as a default on a lot of games. For those of you who are not new to online gaming, the default to escape from a menu or those kinds of things is the button escape. And for this game, it's actually tab to get in and out of the building menu. But now it's even. All right, and I need a checkout, also going to be in the tab. And I want, there's one for the right, one for the left. I want one for the left. I'm going to put it over here. Oops. I do that a lot. Tab back out of there. And then it says we also need a storage shelf. Storage shelf can only be placed in the annex or the empty room connected to the manager's room. Here's the manager's room, and we'll come back to that in a second. And here's our storeroom. There are 2 different kinds of storage shelf. This one is just a generic shelf that, whoops, the blue tells us where the front of that you can place and just put your boxes on there. I personally like the regular storage shelf that has labels. And the reason is that later on when you have employees, this helps the employee, it helps the employee to put the items where you want them on the shelves. And 2, it helps you later on to be able to see what you're missing, what you're low on, just by coming into the storeroom rather than going shelf to shelf to shelf. So we're going to put this shelf up here. Now it says, we have a franchise point available. Points are earned by owning a successful business. Go to the manager's room and acquire the first perk in the perks blackboard, which is this. And this is your management. This is what we sell in the store. So the franchise points that are available show down here, and every one of these little boxes is a single, or circles, is a single franchise point. You have to go in order. You can't get this product to sell until you have that product. There are a few really special perks when you get to the ends of your lines, like this one, the closest trash container, excuse me, words are hard, will be replaced by a recycle one. Overall electric consumption, pricing machine software is improved. This one is huge. I love this one. I'll show it to you when I go into my main game. And this one unlocks different types of pallet displays, and that's something that has to do with gardening. So we have gardening products, electronics, some snacks, basic products, your staples and that kind of thing, pharmacy. So we're going to buy our first one, and this is basic products. There are 6 items that we can start our store with to sell. Pasta penne, water bottles, honey, cereal, rice, salt, and sugar. These 6, that's why I knew how much shelving that I need. So I'm going to purchase that perk. I can now sell these items. So it's important to remember that once you have acquired a product franchise or a perk, customers expect those products to be on the store and will complain if they can't find it. Now we're going to go over here to the manager blackboard. And there's lots of things that we can do on this blackboard. I said about debts, so let's start there. This is a loan request. as little as 1,000, as much as 10,000. Of course, as you change things, the daily payment will change. As you do the amount of the loan, the daily payment will change as well. The longer you pay it over time, the lower the payment, but the higher the amount you have to pay back in total. Typical loan stuff. We'll have invoices over here. We have invoices for the electricity, we have rent, and as we get employees, we will have their salary to pay. So then we would choose the invoice, pay this invoice. And I think I'll remember to show you when I go into my main store. Statistics, this will show us different things. These statistics are account cumulative. So I have statistics here already because I have another store that I've already opened. If you go into a friend's store, it will also be included in your statistics. If you go into an open store and you do stuff there, that will also be included in your statistics. Here's how we hire employees. We can't do that yet because it's a perk over there on that franchise board. But this will tell you how much their salary is for the day. And if you click on them, it tells you about their experience. So this person would be a fantastic for a cashier, but a little expensive for us, at least to start. And that makes a point for me. Can I get out? I can. These franchise points, you only get them usually like one a day to start with. If you're really doing well, you might get more than one. But your first goal would be to get up here as quickly as you can. This is hiring an employee. That employee can run your register so that you can be out in the store doing actual manager stuff. Trust me, it's huge to have an employee. All right, and then the supermarket. We're going to name our supermarket. So I want my sign to be blue. Change the color. And then over here, we're going to pick our name. So I am going to call this, let's call this Stuff and Junk. That's the name of my store. And then we're going to change the name. So that, when we go outside, if you're new to gaming, you see I'm not moving very fast. If I hold down the shift button, the left shift button, I can move quite a bit faster. I know gamers, you know this stuff, but hopefully we've got people who've never or not regularly play games online, so I may throw those kinds of hints in. Stuff and Junk. That's our store. All right, now back to the manager board. So here's our product. We can only sell basic products, and here's our 6 products. I am going to click on these buttons and it puts it on my shopping list. I am going to buy 1 pasta, 2 water bottles, 2 cereals, rice, a salt, and a sugar. My total for this purchase is $319.50. I actually have $3,075. I started with $5,000, but remember I've already bought equipment. $3,075. So we're going to buy our items. Now it says go outside and look for your purchase boxes. They are delivered into the middle of the street. Weird as it sounds, nobody will steal your stuff off the street. Now if I put this box on here, when I take it out, you see how the label shows that that's where the water goes. It's kind of important. You bring your box out here and left click to put items on the shelf. It will automatically put a purchase amount on there, and I will get to show you in a minute how you change that price. Now on my box it now says 0 as the water bottle. I'm going to throw this box with F over there on the shelf because an empty box can be useful as you rearrange your store. We're going to take this rice. No, we're not. Yeah, we will. We'll put it on the shelf, and then I'm going to come back out and get the salt because I want to make a point about condiments. That big shelf for a little bitty item like salt can hold a whole lot of these little bottles. So we want those on a half shelf instead. There were 50 in this box when I started. Remember, left click to add things to a shelf. Oh, I guess I'm gonna have an empty box, so I don't need to. I didn't really need to keep that other box. There were, okay, so now there are 49 on that shelf, and there's still space. So your condiments, salt, pepper, those kinds of things, you want a half shelf. Otherwise, you're going to have a huge amount of product on your shelf. Now, this box is empty. I'm actually going to throw that down here so I can show you on this. This says water bottle. If I want to take something off of a shelf, I'm going to right click. And when I do, see on my box, it changes it from water bottle to salt. That way you know what's in the box that you have in your hand. I'm going to put this on here so that I have a label on and then I'll put this on here. Now, boxes. There are two things you can do with boxes. You can just throw it away, and that's this green trash can. Or you can pick it up, and across the street there are two blue trash cans. These are recycle cans, and when you put stuff in there, you get $1.50 back for every box that you recycle rather than throw away. All right, I've showed you that, so I'm going to put you on pause, do some work, and I'll be back. All right, so now I have put everything on the shelves. Here's my storeroom that tells me what's missing, and that's what I'm saying, what I was saying earlier, that I can look at these shelves and I know what I have no back stock on. And I can also look at the shelves over here and find out how much I've got. For example, I could put another row of honeybees on here, but I've also got honeybees down here. I could put 2 more rows if I felt like I needed to stock this fully. So here are things. Tutorial says go to the manager's room and get a pricing device. Here's our little pricing device, and we're going to come over here and actually give a new price to these items. I purchased this at $2.50. If I leave it on the shelf for $2.50, I'm not making any money. You can, our customers will buy this for up to 2 times or 200% of the price. I could mark these at $5 and people will still purchase them. I don't do that. I usually do 5 cents less. I don't know why I've started to do that. It just is. I think maybe when my oldest showed me this game, it's something that was passed down in her tutorial. So you can use your the keys on your keyboard to do this. So I'm going to say $4.95. You will be surprised. When you put that amount in, it will change the price on every shelf anywhere in the store that has this product. So then we have $1.49 would be $3, so $2.95. It would actually be $2.98, but we're going to make salt actually, oh my goodness, $90 is not right. 0.90. Come on. $900. 0.9. Why is it not putting the decimal, or in this case, the comma, in here for me? There we go, 90 cents. 89 cents is 90 is $1.80, so $1.75. What is going on? Okay, let's try that again. $1.35 is 270, so 265, and 190, so 290, so 285. Now, if I were to have made the mistake of making this 295, I would have customers come in and complain that the rice is too expensive. If I didn't have any rice on the shelf at all, they would say, I can't find this item. So, all right, back to our menu. I told you that the date is up there. You can read all of those. I'm just going to highlight some stuff. The date is up there under our clock. Today is Monday. Market prices change on our products on Thursday. So before you open on Thursday, you want to double check that your products are priced correctly. Prices just go up. So know that you need to double check so that you can continue to earn appropriate profit. Now, each checkout can have a queue of 8 customers that don't complain, but if it gets more than that, they will just steal your stuff. Thieves and trash will also have a chance to spawn after day 8, so at least they give you some time to get used to the game. All right, we're going to go put this away, and we're actually ready to just open the store. There are more things on that tutorial, but we're just gonna jump on in. Open with the I, close with, it's not an I, it's a 1. Close with the 0. Now we are open. Our sign out here says open, and our signs out here are lit green. One of the things you can do for traffic control is with these doors. In this door, you can come in or out. Now you can only come in. Now you can go only out. Because we're not using this section of the store, I'm actually going to close that door and this one as well. It's also a way to deter thieves. They can't go out any of the doors and therefore make it more difficult for you to chase them down. Now, when you do have trash, oops, there isn't one over there. I usually have one. You pick up the broom, you go find the trash, and using the little reticule, that dot, which you can change the size of, by the way, you just point on it till it highlights, and you can pick up the trash. That's also how you deter thieves, and I'll show you that in a little while on my main game. Now at the register, we click to pick things up, and we have credit card or cash. He's got a credit card. The amount is down here, $6.80, and you can do that push button on the screen, or you can use your keypad. Cash, we're over here in this register. They gave us $10. The amount was $8.55, and we need to give them back $1.45. You can give them back too much money, so just kind of keep an eye on that. You click on that, and off she goes. As we put things into our, as we run them across our scanner, the bag just automatically shows up. All right, $50, our change is going to be $33.50. And I want to show you something that's neat. You left click 30 to pick up the dollar amounts. If you had like 95, in this case we only have 50, so I'm going to explain that or show it that way. You can go all the way to 34. This is also how you fix a problem. Right click to remove the dollars. So we could remove the full dollar. Now we're at 33 and we would have to add the 50 cents. But at 34, if we right click the 50, now we also have the 33.50. So if you have 39.45, you can put in 40, or 95, you can put in 40 and just give them back, delete a nickel from it, and then you're giving them back the right amount, $16.60. One more, and then I'm going to put you on pause again. $15.50, so $4.50 back. The reason I'm going to put you on pause is because from 8 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. a store day takes about 15 minutes, and you don't want to sit through all this. You've seen how this works, so I'm going to make it faster for both of us. I'll be right back. All right, my day isn't over. It's only about noon, but I had a thought, so I'm going to jump in here real quick. The reason I said you want an employee to run your register is because as I'm doing this, you see, I'm looking down, so I don't see what's going on in my store. If I have a shortage on the shelves, if I've completely run out, I don't know that because I can't see it. So get yourself an employee as quickly as you can. All right, so it is 10 o'clock-ish, 2200. And this always makes me think of stores that it says, this store will close in 15 minutes. Please make your final selections and go to the front of the store where we will happily check you out. Our store will open again. The game will let people come in until 22:30. And they, like this, and they will let them continue to shop until they are done. So you don't have to worry about anybody new coming in, but you do have to finish checking people out. And now our store is closed. And if we were to, whoops, I forgot I locked those doors. If we go outside, we're now closed. It's a red sign. Okay. So we have gotten to the end of our day. We could come over here and just close the store. Time does not pass right now. So I personally like at the end of the day to do all of my ordering. So I would come over here. I would actually go out at this early point. I would go out here and go, oh, look how much cereal or sugar we sold. We sold quite a bit of stuff. So I probably, actually that's less than half a case. So I probably would buy one salt, one water, an extra penne. Can't hurt to have. I think I would probably buy 2 boxes of cereal and a box of everything else. So that's what I'm going to do over here. Up there in the left, we made money today. We took in money today is what I should say. We have $3,153.75 to spend. So we go to our product ordering, and I said I was going to get a box of everything except cereal. I'm going to get 2. $292 is what this one cost me. But I have more ordering to do because I now have a franchise point. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to buy the perk that allows me to sell dairy products. Here's something that you need to know. Not everything goes on the same kind of shelf. So this box right here means it's a dry good and you can put it on a regular shelf like the ones we have out there. We have shelf stable milk in this grouping. But see, this other one says it has a little thermometer. These need to be in refrigerators and coolers. So I need to have coolers that will put these items out on my shelf. I know that these cheeses, you can put an awful lot of stuff on those shelves, kind of like the salt. So I'm going to put a half cooler for those, and then I'm also going to put the frozen yogurt. I'm going to get one of each of these to sell. There's 30 in a milk brick. And cereal, there was 20. So I think 1 box of the milk is fine. Yogurt takes up a little bit of space, but we're just going to start with 1 box of each of those. Another $700 in product purchase. And now I just picked up another 6 products. Is that right? Yes, another 6 products. In the storeroom, even those cooler items can just go on a regular shelf. You don't have to have a cooler in here to put those items on. But I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces to put new product in our storeroom on. So I'm going to need another shelf. And I'm not going to be super picky about this. I want to use the mouse button. E. I'm not going to be super picky about that. The placement mode, I can also delete items or shelving or a checkout or a self-checkout or anything. So if I have to, and then I think you get all of the money back, but it may only be a portion. I don't remember. It's been a while. Okay, so out in the store, we also need our coolers. So I'm going to go find the refrigerators, a basic fridge. That's our small fridge. So we're going to put one of those down. And we're also going to buy a double fridge for the yogurt. turn that puppy around. The clipping, it tells you how far, where a good placement is when it turns red. You can also make aisles, and as long as the shelving is still green, you can put it this close. This is where the doors, these plates in front, this is where the doors open. But our customers don't care how narrow the aisles are as long as they can get to the shelving. So here I couldn't put it, but I could place it here. I'm not going to. It doesn't look neat and clean to me. I don't know if I would shop in a store that looked like that. And I'm not going to futz too terribly much with those. Now I also noticed it's a little dark in here. So I'm going to put up some lights. And we're going to X to get to the box that's, or the menu that says lights, and we're just going to find one we like. So there's this one. Oh, these are floor lamps. That's for outside, I think. So inside the store, there's different kinds of, ooh, very fancy. I think you would put that in the staff room. Different kinds of lights that you can put in. I kind of like that circle, or not circle one, the half. And then part of my rearranging things was getting my lights exactly where I wanted them to be. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines. If I go 1, 2, 3, 4, and in the center, this looks like a good placement for me. And it will just keep that item in on the screen until you tab out of the menu. All right, so that's enough lights. Tab out of menu. Now it's not quite so dark in here. There's all of our stuff over there on the street. I told you about thieves. They won't take it out of the street, but they'll take it out of your store. Let's see, what else can we do real quick? Okay, our staff room. In order to, you buy your first staff, they don't really care about there being stuff in the staff room, but as you staff more, hire more employees, you have to have stuff in here for them. So tables, chairs, you can put a refrigerator in here, coffee machines, some vending machines, that kind of thing. Over here, this is when you're playing with friends or public. Remember on this screen, Kimmy Amber, hey mom, 10, punish. This is how long you're going to punish them for. For whatever reason, they tripped you with a broom. Yes, you can hit your friends and your customers, but your friends, this turns into broom wars. You can hit your friends with a broom and it knocks them down. If they've done that to you and you're not happy about it, you can punish them. And they come here to jail. You sit here in this jail for however long the person who is punishing you for. It'll shut that door. Now, there is another window over here, and there is a cop, sort of, who watches your the people who are in your jail. Normally, when I first started, he was just looking in the window, but right now, for some reason, he's up on the ceiling. So we're going to go over here. This is a free game. You don't have to buy anything additional, but there is a DLC and it's fully cosmetic, or fully cosmetic if you're playing by yourself. If you have friends or you have a public game, then there are other social interaction things that you can do, and that's in the cool room. Cool people only. Here's our cop, this elephant. For some reason, he's upside down. I don't know how that happened, and I haven't looked at like Discord or a wiki to find out. I can't go in here because on this account I don't have the DLC. I'll show you that on my main game in just a minute or two. Here's the kitty. You can pet the kitty. And it's like every 15 minutes of actual time, you can come and pet the cat. Our staff room. These I haven't done, so you can put decorations on your brooms. You can buy additional brooms if you need to. This is for decorating, particularly for putting like planters up on the ceiling or your CCTV up on the walls. I'm not going to put all of those things on my shelf because I can do that later. But I would do all of those things now. If I had before I closed the store, if I had employees, I can actually assign them to different things. I'll show you that on my main game as well because I don't have any employees to show it to you. All right, so oh, the other thing. This is our building layout. The black areas here, that's our actual store footprint right now. We've got this little section and then this square over here. That's what we've done. We can buy additional space for our store floor, and that we click on a space and it tells you how much that space is going to cost you. Now, any one of these spaces right now is going to cost me $250. As our store gets bigger, the prices on these go up. This is our storeroom. Currently, we can buy more storage space. Storage space right now is going to cost us $2,000. We don't have that kind of money, so I'm not going to do that either. I believe these are for future expansion. This is the cool room. I think these are also future expansion, or they could be in the current game. I haven't played in a while, so they have been adding stuff. Even though this is a relatively new game, it is fully supported. They do weekly support where they fix bugs, or they've been adding a bunch of stuff in, and I haven't seen it all, so I don't know all of the things that are currently open on this. This could be something that's open right now since it actually says boxes. And then our staff room. And here's where we get our things delivered. So now I'm going to close my day. Of course, like I said, 0. And when we do this, we get an update of the day. We had 43, my mouse is not going to work on this, so we had 43 customers today. They had no complaints. They found everything. Nothing was too expensive. We weren't robbed, and there was no trash. We earned a franchise level. Our income, what we sold in product, was $371. Didn't have any robbers. We bought $1,317.75 worth of other product. So the product we bought this morning and the product that's sitting out in the street right now. We haven't had any utilities or other invoices yet. And then we bought a bunch of shelving and the checkout. So we spent $3,700 on those items. So for the day, we actually spent $47.21.75 more than we brought in. Then we press any key to continue. And now we are on Tuesday. So up there on the left, it's Tuesday, it's 8 a.m. The store is closed, see? So I could now take all of those things, put them on the shelves, and make my arrangements in that way. I'm actually going to go to my big store so I can show you some of those things while we still have a few minutes. I'll be right back. So then we go to our main store, or back to the main screen, and this time we're going to load the store. These are the games I told you I tried to make a video before, and for some reason it disappeared. So this is the store that we're in now, is Hey Mom 2. We're going to go ahead and that's how you get into your store. And I should be in my other account, so I'm going to be back again. All right, so here we are in my main account, store 1. Pausing through the loading screen. Again, my store is called Stuff and Junk. But this is my store. I have about 100 hours into this. Like I said, a lot of it was moving shelving around or knocking out walls. Oh, guess I should have shown you that on the other account, on the Hey Mom account. But here's my products. I have different signs. I decided to go with different colors of the signs. I have my CCTV. Here's my hanging plants. You can actually decorate outside as well. I have multiple registers, that's the word, and I have some self-check over there too. I have more space than I am using right now. The reason for that is that there are achievements. For those of you who are new in gaming, achievements are just little, hey, you're doing a great job kind of things in games. There are people who want 100% of the achievements. They're called completionists. I am one of those. I say I'm an achievement hound. And my storeroom is way too big too. But one of the achievements is to have gotten, you notice there are no pillars in this store. There were pillars here. You can knock the pillars down. When you buy store space over here, that space will just open up, and as you buy more storage room, you get these extra doors out into the store, so, and out into the street. But you can knock the pillars down to get that achievement. You do that with a sledgehammer. Yeah, I know. The game's kind of got some funny things in it. Here's the kitty again. We're gonna pet the kitty. Now the DLC, I told you, I primarily use it for hats. You can put different hats on your people. Here are my 8 employees in their staff room. There's a game over there, vending machine. I've got more vending machines. I've got a microwave, table and chairs. So in order to get past to hire your second person, you actually have to have stuff in the staff room. Employees. So if I were to hire somebody, here's our hiring list again. I already showed you that. You can actually get rid of people. I have 4 more employees I could hire. Not going to. And right now they have no task. But I can assign them a task. Cashier, restocker, storage, and security. Now, my guys with the cop hats on, they're my security. If they have a crown on, they're my cashiers. Except that, yeah. Crown, yeah. And then my other employees, normally I have them as restockers. So they're going to restock my store during the day. Here are the different capabilities. So Melissa's really, really good at stocking shelves. No, at stocking the storeroom. Joan is really good at stocking shelves, and they have levels. So Joan is an 87 restocker. Melissa's at 13 in the storeroom. I just really kind of started using everybody in the storeroom, so they all have a little bit of storeroom. But I've got Tiffany over here has been my cashier since almost the beginning. Roseanne is my oldest cashier, or longest employee. She has 113 levels in cashiering. Biff, who is my security, you name your employees when you hire them. They aren't. So yeah, I was being a little silly. Biff from Back to the Future, kind of a buff, gruff kind. That's why he's named Biff. But I hired him as a security guard because look at this. He's really a good security guard. And then we had Dylan, who we also hired for security. But you can assign them to these different roles. When you do, they go to their place. I have open registers, so Carl comes to do a register. Now, if I were to close the checkout lane, Carl goes away. You can do this to reassign them to something else. Close this register. I don't get any customers come up to it, and then I could go reassign him. If I decided to buy product that's sitting out here, I could reassign him to the stock room and he would go and do that. Here's my security guys out here and they've got their brooms. I'm going to open my store so you can see and there she goes. So you can, no, I closed this. So you can see a thief and some, we don't want people just kind of hanging around. We're going to put, who's on the register right now? We're going to put these other people on restocking. That is, I can't see that far. Is that Joan? That's Tiffany. All right. So we're going to leave Tiffany on the register, and we're going to put all our other cashiers on restock, and then Biff and Dylan are on security. So that's how you manage your employees. Invoices. I'll show you that when I open the store in the morning. Oh, statistics. I was telling you statistics are account-wide. So on this particular account, I have sold $4,311,231. Earned $4,311,231. I have pet that cat 109 times. There is an achievement for petting the cat. There's an achievement for total products checked out. My end game when I first started this, you can continue to play this game forever, but my end game was to have $100,000 in sales in one day and $1 million in my bank account. I actually right now have $1,146,170. I'm pretty much empty on my perk board, my franchise board, so I have 6 franchise points available over there. Tablets. These tablets are fabulous because remember I told you I could come in here and look and see that there's something empty. Throw that on the floor for a minute, and we're going to take that off. Instead of going to every single shelf and figuring out what it is that I need more of, I can take this tablet, and you see over there it says premium water. I have an empty shelf, so if I left click, I put this on my ordering list. E would actually order it. Right click, say I put 5 in or 3 in there and I don't want 3, I can right click to take stuff off. And then E to purchase it, and it'll end up in the street. I love this. This is late game stuff, folks. Security cameras, you can actually look at the cameras and see what's going on, and then click through the cameras to see different views. You can catch thieves through CCTV by analyzing whether or not they might steal stuff. And this is a game changer. This has a list of every single item I have available to sell, whether it's on the shelf or not. Everything. So I purchased this item at $4.51. I'm selling it at $8.97. You would have to, at the beginning of the game, take that pricing gun on Thursday morning before you open and change all of the prices so you're making your maximum. When you get this machine, you can actually change, you could change it here and it would change whatever product you're focused on, but you can come down here and make this 199% of the market price and set all prices to that percentage. You're done repricing. It is amazing. It takes a minute for it to do it, but you do it when the store is closed, so it's not a big deal. I have not worked with this. This has come out since I played a sales tablet. I'm going to let you play with that. And then on this perk board, tic-tac goes fast. While the store is closed, if I had stuff that I wanted, in fact, I need to buy some stuff so that you can see. Let's buy some cereal. I have no need for this stuff because I've already purchased everything, but let's buy these things. Actually, let's fix our employees here real quick. We're going to put them in storage mode. And then we're gonna go over here and we're by these things. Now they're in the street. And there go my people. They are gonna go over there and pick those things up and put them in the storage room. When it's out of stuff, out of things for the employee to do, they'll just go back to the staff room. So they've come in here and they've put these items on the shelf where the labels say they should. I am stocked, so they put this on this just generic shelf. I want them now. I want all of my employees to restock the store. And I'm going to show you the higher the level they have for restocking, 13, 11, the higher they have for restocking or storage, the faster they actually walk across the floor. So, am I completely stocked? Oh, that's going to be disappointing. I won't be able to show you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're all in there. All right, let's close the store then, and then I can show you restocking. At the end of the day, I can click on this button. It's a perk, and that clock will just start zipping. That way you don't have to sit here for 20 minutes while they restock the store. And that's a perk that is up here. Not that one. TikTok. There are other perks on here that the employees will move faster. So they'll get even faster just by doing it over and over again, but you can make them go faster. You can make them, I think there's a checkout is faster. There's lots of little different perks here, but let's close the store. Close. Here's my close. Oh, it's 8 in the morning, so we need to open the store. Yes. All right. We have everybody is set up as, let's put some employees out on there. We're going to put Dylan out there on the street with Biff. And let's put Tiffany on the register. But I'm going to have everybody else do restocking because I want to show you thieves. They can just randomly occur, but if there are more than 8 people in this line, they'll try to steal your stuff. They aren't going to wait in line. 8 people in that line plus the self-serve kiosks are going to have to be full, so it's going to take us a second. But you see in the background them running with their boxes. That one's not as fast as this one. And then when I accelerate it by 5 times, they are zipping. They're just so fast. All of our customers having a good time over there. We're going to stand out here with our security guys. There's stuff to look at outside here. Our recycle bins over there. Our barrier is basically the recycle bins. We can't go past that crosswalk or that one down there. I'm far enough in that I've bought the perk where this trash bin is also a recycle bin. We saw there's a baler now, a cardboard baler that you can put in. That's really, really new. So I don't have one in my store. I don't know how it works. I'll leave that for you to do. There's this hot dog stand over here, and unfortunately, you can't do anything with it. There's never anybody there to buy stuff from. Okay, we need somebody to try and steal. Come on. Not that I'm supporting theft, but you need to be able to see this. Oh, I will pick up a broom too, because you can actually trip your employees, trip your friend or the general public, your friends. Like I said, it can turn into broom wars. I'm wondering if I'm going to have to close that register completely. Well, now we have 5 in that line. We're getting busy. If the line is too long, they will automatically go to self-check over there. there we go. There's a thief. So Dylan and Biff are gonna beat her up. Drop all of that stuff, you. And then you get it back by picking it up. That counts as a sale, actually. And you can hear the cha-ching going on in the background. That is a sale. So in this case, we're going to have to open some of these registers so that we don't have our thieves. There's actually an achievement for hitting a thief a certain number of times. We're going to leave, we have 3 registers, right? So we're going to leave those rest of those on. Okay, they're out there, ching, 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 they're picking stuff up. Here's our cleaning bot. That's a perk that you can buy, but you clean up by bringing your broom over there. I just stole it from the little, cleaning bot. My produce area, my electronics, 21 only. This is alcoholic ice cream. All right, so I think that is the totality. That will get you started on the game, give you an idea of where you can go with the game. There are wallpapers that I have not accessed yet, so I might decorate my store a little bit more. Folks, this has been Supermarket Together. I hope you've enjoyed the game, and I hope you've enjoyed how I've presented it to you. If you have, hit like. If you want to know about the next item or next game that I post, hit subscribe and you'll get that notification. If there's a game that you think I should try, please put it in the comments and I might take a look at it and play it and give you this kind of a tutorial. Or I might just play it cold and record that so you can see how I struggle in starting some games. You might learn a little bit from how easy the game or difficult the game is to actually understand how to play if I do one that's cold. So that's in the works. I also have a plan to do a series where I do a full playthrough of a game. If you'd like to see those, please put that in the comments as well. And then there's always a possibility that I may do something stream, probably on another platform, not YouTube. But if you'd be interested in seeing a stream of something like this or a survival game, I like those too. Put those comments there too as well. And I will take a look at everything that you have to say, all of your feedback. Thank you again for watching. Hey Mom, play this. I'm Kimmy Amber and we'll see you in the next one.